Well, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. Today on the table in front of us, we've got some budget goodness. This is a Sanrenmu, or SRM knife. This is the 1006 G8, and this is one heck of a budget pocket knife. Now, they're about 28 bucks on Amazon. They've been around for quite a while in varying forms. This one is mine. I've had it for a while. I just never bothered to review it. But I realized that I love this thing, and so I want to share it with you. It is 14C28N Sandvik steel. It is steel liners. It is running on bearings. It has a full-length G10 backspacer and a glass breaker, if you're into that sort of thing. It's got a nice deep carry pocket clip. This is a big knife, and the blade shape deserves a little bit of discussion. I love it. It's got a little bit of a recurve to it. It's got a beautiful swedge across the top, and well, that's because I love the ZT-0350. Yeah, very, very similar. That's the only place these two knives are similar, but it did bear sharing. But anyway, so what do you get? Well, you get 1, 2. I know how to count. Watch me go. 1, 2, 3 and a half, a little over 3.5 inches of cutting on 3 3/4 inches of 14C28N. The grip area from behind the flipper tab. 1, 2, 3, 4 full inches of grip. It is a nice handful. It is a very thick knife through the handle, but very attractive for it as well. It has a lock, which is buried in the scale right there. You can lock it so that you cannot close it, which is very nice if you're into that sort of thing. It will not lock shut, but it does lock open. I just think it's an attractive knife. Now, of course, again, because the blade shape is very reminiscent of the ZT-0350, I know for a fact that it is an excellent cutter. It has always served me very well. And for, you know, less than 30 bucks, it is very hard to go wrong with this knife. The overall knife from end to end, let's do that before we move on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just under 8.5 inches overall. You get a lot of really nice cutting. Look, so 14C28 and Sandvik steel is one of my favorite budget steels. Harnes does a great job with it. Sanrenmu has done a very good job with it, at least on this knife. The bevel on this knife is perfect, which is very nice from a sort of budget Chinese company. There is no smile down here at the back, and it has a very nice large sharpening choil if you need such a thing. Doesn't come all the way to the end of the plunge, but it is done very, very well. The flipper tab has just a little bit of jimping on it in just the right spot, and because of the shape of the knife, even though it is a bit of a pocket stabber, it doesn't tend to bang on things too much in the pocket. Now, this is a big knife, as I've mentioned, right? It's sort of heavy, and it's a real handful, but if you were looking for a harder use budget knife, I'm not going to scream absolute hard use. I'm not going to take this thing out and work it in a field for a year. I don't know how it would hold up. But for daily use and for harder use, because of the really nice milling on this G10, you get a very nice grip. And I very much enjoy that. This is a real handful of knife. It's got this lovely ramp here for your thumb to land on for push cuts. Because of that little bit of recurve, it tends to stay right in the material, right in the medium that you're cutting. This beautiful belly at the tip means you can work down on the mat very, very well. The world is full of $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, $700 knives. It is worth it every once in a while when a much less expensive knife comes along that is probably worth your attention, particularly since a lot of us don't want to spend $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, $700 on a knife. This is one of those. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and do some size comparisons, because as I said, this is a big boy. Here it is. Oh, sorry about that. My camera just completely shifted position. That was interesting. All right, almost. Hey, look at that. Okay, we're back. Here it is against the Ritter Hogue, and as you can see, if we line it up, the Sanrenmu here is much, much bigger, a lot more blade and a lot more handle. Here it is against the the SOG Flash AT, which is a really lovely knife in D2. There's a review of that coming. And then, of course, here it is up against the Bug Out, just for giggles. Right? I love the Bug Out. It is a marvelous pocket knife, but this Sanrenmu here is much more my size of a pocket knife. I'm much more comfortable carrying something big and heavy like this. That's just the way I am. You can be different, and of course I expect you to. Let's go ahead and weigh this monster. I'm going to guess that it is very heavy. I want you to hear this action, by the way. Right? And the close is very good. Let's go ahead and weigh it out. If the scale will work. There we go. Yeah, 6.6 ounces. This is a chunk. It really is. But you know what? I love that about it. I'm willing to acknowledge that they borrowed liberally in blade design from somewhere else because the handle itself is completely unique. I think that's an interesting choice on the part of Sanrenmu. In a world full of homages and outright clones, they borrowed an absolutely fantastic blade design, made it in a much more budget and really good steel. I love 14C28N, and attached it to a completely different style of handle, making a unique knife. Now, I don't promote clones. I am not afraid of homages. In this world, there's a lot of knives that are similar to others, and I'm not going to complain about that as long as they're not exactly the same. This falls into that category. It just isn't the same knife, even though it shares a very strong feature with another knife, pretty obviously. And for 30 bucks, I mean, seriously, you cannot go wrong. Yeah, no, this is a great knife. Totally worth the money, totally worth the energy and effort to pick one up off of Amazon. If you are looking for a good, comfortable in hand knife that will serve you it's just very, very well over time, the Sanrenmu 1006 G8, because that is just the longest name you possibly need for a knife, will serve you. Anyway, that's what this is. I hope you've enjoyed this look at it. I know that I've enjoyed having it in my collection. I've had it for quite a while. I take this thing out, particularly when I'm going out near water, because 14C28N is really, really rust resistant. Now, the rest of the knife is steel, so you're going to want to at least dry it out when you're done with it, but the blade itself is not going to corrode on you. And like I said, you know, it's got a glass breaker, and it's very comfortable in the reverse hammer grip, just in case you really want to give somebody a poking. Anyway, this has been an excellent knife. I have been a Therapeutic Edge. I hope you've enjoyed this. I know I've enjoyed doing it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about this or any of the knives you've seen on my channel, feel free to ask down in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.